I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Lavi.
And Salty and Chip.
This is Ginger.
Yeah.
Haven't done them in a long time.
Been a long time.
Shout out to the big homie Raul.
Yep.
So this is, what's the name of the song? Captain Clock?
Yeah, Captain Clock.
Okay.
Looks like this is live. A live show.
All right. I always like to see.
Looks like it is.
I always like to see bands live. So let's see if she can.
Pull it
let's see
off.
if they can tear it up.
She looks like she's rocking hard.
This is
so.
Captain Clock.
Yep.
All right, let's do it.
Go.
Resurrection Fest!
Okay.
So this is the last song for tonight, my friends!
I love it when you do that.
Alright, Resurrection! Scream for me! I must have free out and back. Focus now, triple slip in my case. Here's some tension or suck it up. Slack. It's so tiny but not so implied. From the top of the world. Shows you. No respect, don't regret. Let's go. The time is gone, we are grown. For good. Godless beggars, that's the best, that's the bag. But always supported. All the commandments resorting. That's the war retire for the soldier with the shoulder straps. The body cries all you let it. Speaking in acting under red. Time to wait, time to slip. Time to avenge the sacred. Time to avenge the sacred. I want a mechanical miracle. Global the terror makes us superior. Like a weapon torn that sits in the core. This war in a coin is a much better on the guns of fire.
range.
I know.
When she was doing that at the beginning, it sounded, I couldn't even believe how much it sounded like a man. If I would have heard that in another room, I would have assumed it was a tall, skinny man.
Yeah. Thought it was a dude.
Yeah. And then she can really sing. I wonder, like...
She's a badass.
That's pretty crazy how your vocals can, like if I do that sound, like, it makes my vocal cords hurt. Like,
what,
I don't...
the death chant?
Yeah, I don't know how they can do that and then switch to
You're
that level of singing.
You're gonna have to figure it out soon, Missy.
I will. But, yeah, she's good. She's really good.
It took you a while to warm up to her. This is like the first time you've been like ah!
In the other ones, though, did she have all of those ranges?
Yeah, she did the Pisces. Well, the Pisces, she did it backwards. She was singing clean, and then she went to the death thing, like, in the middle.
You know what's weird? I totally forgot that we even reviewed her before. Like, I remembered reviewing her, but I didn't remember whatever I thought about it. And I didn't know that she could sing, so I forgot that she could sing.
She's a badass lyricist.
Oh, she wrote these lyrics?
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure English isn't even her first language.
Is she the one that did that, like, love song?
Yes.
Like, oh,
But she was using the sci-fi metaphors.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's bad as hell. She really, really, really can write. She's probably, like, one of the smartest writers out there. Every time she writes something, I'm like, damn, she's smart.
She's smart.
She takes a theme. She takes a theme and then she just draws it out. Like with the Pisces thing,
yeah.
She just drew that out from start to finish.
Yep.
And that love song, I forgot the name of the song. She just drew out the metaphor. Same thing, like she'll take a theme and like she just drags it out from start to finish. I Speak Astronomy was the name of the other song.
That's what it is.
Like, so I'm starting to figure out her style of writing. It's brilliant. She's doing just a really, really, really good job at that stuff. So, what did you think this song was about?
I have no clue. I was only watching the video, and I couldn't understand what she was talking about.
It's interesting because I was like watching the lyrics mostly and not really watching the video. I'd go back and forth.
The performance. That thing she did with her eyes, though. I took me a little bit off guard there, and I felt a little sick because I didn't know what was happening. You know when I can't figure something out in my head?
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on with her eyes? And then I realized it was her eyelids. But I'm like, her eyes did not have those, because I thought it was, contacts.
Yeah.
Like some whitish looking contacts, but I'm like, she did not have those in at the beginning of the show. What happened? Freaked me right out.
This is all on the same record.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Pisces, I Speak Astronomy, Captain Clock, all on the same record.
Beggar's Dance.
She's, yeah, I wish
it
I
had
could
something to do with time.
I wish I could have heard the what do you call it? The studio version of this. 'Cause I don't know, live the sound is a little muddy to me.
Oh, well, yeah.
Especially when you're playing fast. Like I would love to have heard the notes like separately instead of just. So Captain Clock. So the whole thing is about time and how we humans relate to time.
Mm-hmm.
He keeps on moving his mustache, gets you fussy, makes you rush. He's got no leg, but he walks. He's got no mouth, but he talks. Tick tack, click clack. He pulls the trigger, pulls it back. My time, your time is under attack. We run on a circle track.
Cool.
So it's all about time and what the clock does, and it is interesting, like living in New York City.
Yeah. Why?
Because everybody's running all the time. You're running to catch the bus. You're running to catch the train. Because it's on a certain schedule.
Yeah.
And that motherfucker will leave with or without you.
See, I live like I lived. You would think that I lived in New York by the way that I run my life.
You do.
And I'm in the grocery store, everything's on 10 all the time. And I always ask myself, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
I have no reason to be on 10 all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like when I moved from here to Maine, everybody's just like, chill, man, hey.
I can't stand that. Move. Let's go. Let's get stuff done.
Yeah, but in New York, it's really, you really are a slave to the clock because you literally, it will leave you.
Right.
And then like the other train doesn't come for 15 minutes and then you're fucking 20 minutes late to work. Or you're late to school. So like everybody's running.
Remember our friend there from New York? Remember she had come and then she was like leaving on the bus and she called them and told them to wait? You remember that?
Yeah.
Like, but she's from New York, like, or is it different? Like, has she realized that around here you can do such a thing?
Oh, it's.
Because I think she's right. I think around here you could do that.
She's a unique individual.
Yeah. She
but
is.
she never used to like. She was always like 15 minutes ahead of the bus. So like she was never running for the bus, never. I was always running for the shit. My brother was always running for the shit.
Oh man, I would have been doing it.
She was always 10-15 minutes early. Always.
My father would say, Sori, get up early, get up 30 minutes earlier, get yourself ready for work and sit in the chair. Relax a little bit before you go to work. I don't want to do that because I'm going to be sitting in the chair and I'm going to be annoyed that I didn't stay in bed for the next 30 minutes.
You had a 20 minutes of
sleep left. No way.
But it is interesting like how dominated
the concept of time.
Western culture is by time.
I wish that sometime I would love to sit and just talk about time with you. I love the concept of time, and it's a frustrating thing too. Like,
yeah,
this bosses us all around.
Well, that's what she was talking about when she went down to
a bossy
Towers.
three-handed man, right there. She said bossy.
Right.
Who gives me a triple slap in my face.
Right.
I don't know what that means.
The second, the minute, and the hour.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Okay. Years of tension, a second of slack. He's so tiny but hard to embrace.
Yeah, and then right there. By Towers supported, on a human wrist resorting. There's no word retired for the soldier with the shoulder straps. Because it's talking about a watch there.
Oh.
On human wrist resorting.
Yeah, I knew that part, but when it said for the soldier with the shoulder straps.
Yeah, because the
wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just.
So they're saying the time never retires. It's always going.
It's always going over and over and over again.
Right. Your watchmaker.
So it never retires. Right.
Time does not.
Right. Right. And it's just like it's crazy, like to think about like how everything really comes down to time.
And it makes you wonder if we did ourselves a disservice or not when we figured out time. Like when you look at warm culture and how it is, like, people rolling in and like, you're very warm culture-ish and I'm not. Yeah. So I'm like, when I look at how relaxed you are about stuff, just strolling in here, doing this, doing that, like I wish that I could be like that. But I'm like, I'm stuck in time.
Well, it is interesting because people like you are resentful of people like you.
Absolutely. Yeah, it gets on my nerves.
I saw an article one time like it was basically like not being on time is sinful and
that's how it feels
a clear display that you don't love your neighbor.
Yes.
I was like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, like this precision is
I never understood.
Doesn't indicate that I don't love my neighbor. Go
when
ahead.
You're late, I would be running if I was late to indicate that I'm hurrying, I was trying.
Right.
But you strolling in with your shoes half on and off and you set your bag down and I'm like, what is going on with this person? Yeah, I totally. But the thing was, I didn't judge you too hard for it because you were coming to teach a lesson or whatever, so it didn't matter. You know what I mean? Like everybody needs to wait. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But like, there's...
Talk amongst yourselves.
But if I'm going to pick you up and I'm bringing you to an appointment or something like that and you're not ready and I'm there waiting for you, all right, I'm totally annoyed. That happened to me a number of times where people wouldn't be ready. I can't stand that. That's so rude to me. I hate that.
Well, I mean, it says right there in Genesis that, the greater lights and the lesser lights are for times and seasons.
Yes.
So it's for measurement.
But were we supposed to go to that level of measurement? I don't know.
Right, the granular level of seconds and hours and all that. Yeah.
And then you have the stopwatch that does the milliseconds or whatever it is.
Right.
Were we supposed to go that far with it, or?
Right. Well, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like.
In some instances, that saves a life.
Oh, in lots of instances,
you know what I'm saying?
It saves a life.
But in other instances, I think it adds so much stress to our lives.
It also takes a lot of lives, too.
Yes. Yeah, because people are rushing.
People are rushing and getting car accidents and all this other crazy shit. So it's like, it's one of those things where, like, you got to figure out what's important. Like, a plane trip.
Yeah.
Like, if you're late to the fucking airport, you're not going to,
They're going off without you.
So if you have... So, I mean, you just have to learn how to make it work for you and learn how to manage it. You know, like Mr. Man would say, you know, my stepfather, he'd say, time waits for no man.
Yeah.
You know, when I'd load up to go to practice for football, he'd be like, come on, Vin, time waits for no man. Get in the car. You know, we used to have this car, the Gray Ghost.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting. Like, even if I say something like, we used to have this car, the Gray Ghost, that's a time indicator. It's past tense.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a very interesting idea. Somebody in the comment section one time said, because I made a distinction between time and eternity.
Yeah.
And they said, how could you make that distinction? Like, if you were around, let's say as far back as God was around,
Yeah.
is God experiencing time, or is it just one big long day for him? So how can you make that distinction? It just so happened that in this stretch of eternity that you popped up, you know, and I was like, well, shit,
I don't know.
I never thought of that before.
I don't know. Yeah.
You know, it's like you've got this little sliver of what is interesting though is like it said something about length, but it was long, but it was short at the same time. I forgot where it was, but I thought that was very, very interesting. I can't find it. Anyway. Oh, there it is. Our time is a snail running faster than any wind. That's good. Because there are moments when time seems extremely slow, and then there are other moments when it just breezes by you. You know, like
Yep.
I still remember like yesterday, the first time I met you, and then here you are. You know, so it's like it is true, and there are other times when time goes really, really, really slow.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
like when you can't sleep at night.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't really go slow for me either.
It doesn't?
Well, I don't really know. I don't really think about time when I can't sleep.
It goes slow for me. Cause like you're just going around. What are you doing when you go around? Like I wake up and you're like going around the room. You know, you remind me of Johan when you do that.
Yeah?
Yep.
That's good.
Just going around.
Hearts are swinging to the rhythm of imminence. Woo! This girl can ride her ass off. The rhythm of imminence. You know,
Like meaning it's going to happen.
now. Like you're trying to find ways to like have a heart and be a full-souled person, while at the same time, you know, it's called the tyranny of the urgent. You know, like
Yeah.
like shit's got to get done by a certain time, and
Yeah.
like, that's it, and it's tyrannical because it rules you. It's insane, and like time is such a crazy concept when you think about it from that perspective. Like here you are trying to like build a relationship or build love or build a family. Like that's one of the saddest things to me about Dorian. Like I love him so much. We're out there playing catch yesterday, and like he's growing and his voice is changing and he's got the pimples and all this, and but he's still very childlike in some instances but very old in other instances, and it's like
Well, yeah, when we were on this trip, like, you know how they have like those not cardboard, like those wooden cutouts of like an animal and it's like missing its face so the kids can like put their faces through. I was like, he poked his face through that, so I was like, I know like those moments are not going to keep happening, and this may be the last year he puts his face in them because he was already feeling a little bit weird.
I posted on Instagram, he was too cool for school with the chair thing.
Yeah.
Sitting on the chair with his arms folded, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what's the deal, bruh?
Yeah.
You too cool for it? He's like, yeah, you know.
Yeah, but I still think he's at that phase where he's like, he wants to do it, but he feels like he's too old to do it. Because I think he does want to do it. I think he did want to crawl up in that ginormous chair.
I
Because
agree.
you know what? The honest to goodness truth, I wanted to climb up in the chair. I just didn't get a chance to. Did you?
No, I had no desire.
You have no
crawl
desire
in
to
the
climb in the chair. It was so big.
Not at all. Not at all.
So I'm like, maybe like people, but there's other things like that you're like, I mean, Six Flags wouldn't be a thing if adults didn't want to still have fun like kids, you know? We would only have kids theme parks.
Right.
So.
Well, Six Flags is like, the whole design of Six Flags is to bring you, is to make you feel like you're dying, but that you're still safe.
Oh, well, okay.
That's the whole point of Six Flags, is to give you the impression that you've somehow cheated death.
What?
Think about it. What's the thrill in a roller coaster?
The falling.
The fear, right? The falling, because generally your mind is like, fuck, we're gonna die.
And like
That's what's
the
going on.
feelings in your body.
Yeah.
And then is that why everybody's laughing when they get off? Because they feel like they cheated
yeah,
death?
everybody's like, ha ha, we
Are
beat
you
death.
serious?
That's the entire reason. For sure.
That's funny.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, you know, it's an amusement park, you know, to get you to not think, you know.
Yeah.
But that's why they call it an amusement park. But the undercurrent of the whole thing is to like put you in a situation where you're scared to death.
Yeah.
You ever heard anybody say I was scared to death?
Yeah.
I was on a roller coaster, I was scared to death,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Or they had the Tower of Terror in Universal Studios.
Oh
It was
my
this
gosh.
big, you know.
I know.
what-
I did one.
And the whole and there's all these themes of like, oh, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So then you do it, but then it's like you beat death. Because that's what you know, when she said you're on a circle track,
Yeah.
you know, we run a circle track like you're not going
That was the
anywhere.
very beginning.
It is an interesting way of looking at the world. Because obviously we believe that there's so much purpose in the short time that we have here.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, this is one of the conveniences of our world.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that we don't just believe that we're dominated by time.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that's one of the reasons why I don't rush to places. You know, it's like my purpose is to teach a lesson. So if I show up 5 minutes late, I'm still going to teach a lesson. Who cares? That doesn't impede my purpose if I show up 5 minutes late to it.
Well, it impedes the lesson
No.
because some
We've
people.
had many amazing lessons.
Yeah, and then there's been times where some people are so annoyed that it's late, and then some people had to get up early, so they had to leave early before the thing was done.
And it wasn't meant for them.
Babe, that's the mindset that I'm like, are you serious?
It wasn't meant for them. I mean, we were going for an hour, 2 hours. You mean to tell me they couldn't get any bread out of it?
I know.
Please. Please. Stop it. Yeah. It's all the people that were all upset or whatever, that were all miserable, and when it came time to actually walk that shit out and apply it, how'd they do? There you are. So I don't know. It's a very interesting view of the world, for sure. And if I didn't have this, a lot of times I'm extremely just thankful for, because you know times get tough and all the rest of it, and you have such a, but like I really think that the gift of purpose that we have is like one of the greatest gifts that we have.
Oh yeah.
And the meaning, the deep meaning in every single person that we run into or talk to, or our kids, you know, and the little, you know, sacks of meaning that they are, you know, and how we can. I think that's probably one of the most amazing gifts that our Christianity has given to us.
Yeah, I would agree with that. If, honest to goodness, like, if I had if I didn't think there was any purpose, like, I think that the time thing might be one of those things that would, like, drive me so crazy into, like, there's no point, like, why even be alive? You know what I mean? Like, I think that it could just drive me, like, nuts, like, because we're just going around and around and around and around, and everything's pointless, and then we're just gonna die, and...
Striking, beating, sweeping our lives away.
Yeah.
Like,
What
there
is
you
it?
are.
Should we never grab a tail of what we cannot own? What does that mean?
You're trying to get get an animal by the tail. It's
Yeah.
like running from you.
Oh, but we will never own it. So it's
Like
like
you're
you're
trying to,
always
like-
chasing time. Like you're never.
Yeah.
If you can't settle in a moment, then
Just let it go.
you're always chasing something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just-
It's true.
Just let it go.
I think it's a good song as far as, you know, the concept and stuff like that. I mean, I think it kind of leaves you open ended. Like, now what? Like, yeah, that's how we are. But
Well, I'm assuming Words of Wisdom would be the Words of Wisdom's the next song, so I guess there's some.
okay.
But it's
There's
like
some wisdom there. But
hopeless beggars dance to this beatific flute.
I know. And then song number 10 on this one is "Beggar's Dance."
So the beatific vision is, you know, that promise of blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. So that's been called the beatific vision,
Yeah.
because it's blessedness. So to be beatified means that you're blessed. So it's like hopeless beggars dance to this beatific flute. So like,
Oh, okay.
what do you got?
So are you saying that they're hopeless and they're beggars and they're hopeless, but they dance to this flute because it's a blessing to them because time is pushing forward, so they won't always be in this state of hopelessness.
Well, I think it's they're deluding themselves into thinking that there's some sort of happiness that they can hold on to in this world, but it's really bullshit because the very next thing is striking, beating, sweeping our lives away. Like, oh yeah, you know, you're gonna find some happiness within the space of time that you have, but it's really bullshit because it's just sweeping your life away. Like you're not gonna have any blessedness because as soon as you have it, it's gone.
Yeah. Yikes.
What do you give the song?
9? I liked it.
It's a solid 8.5 for me. I probably would have given it more, but instrumentally, like vocally, she's a badass live, but instrumentally, there's a little bit to be desired. I'll say it that way.
Yeah, I see what you're saying with that, but I'm just like, if it would have been in the studio, I'm sure it would have been clearer to hear all the instruments. And I'm good with a 9.
Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone.